Well, we are now just hours away from the midterm elections taking place in the United States, and battle for the control of the US Senate is still up for grabs. So here are a few of the key races that you need to pay attention to if you'll be staying up on Tuesday night. First up, we have Pennsylvania. This is an absolute must-win for the Democrats. If they don't carry this state, it is hard to see a path to Senate control. Now, in this race, you have the Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman, taking on his Republican challenger, Mehmet Oz, Dr. Mehmet Oz, a TV star. And there's been a lot of controversy about this campaign. It's been one of the wackiest this cycle, mainly because of Dr. Oz, a few controversies surrounding him. He's not even lived in Pennsylvania that long. But also, John Fetterman has had a bit of drama himself. He had a stroke earlier this year, so that's alarmed some Democrats, but he is fit to serve. That's been deemed by his medical professionals. And my prediction is, I think John Fetterman will win this race. Interestingly though, if Republicans had nominated a better candidate than Dr. Oz, I think Republicans would have won this state, but Mehmet Oz is a weak candidate. He's had a very, ineffective campaign. I think this is going to be one for John Fetterman to win. Next up, we have the state of Georgia, another crucial battleground state. The incumbent, Raphael Warnock, is hoping to win a full term in office, and he is facing off against his Republican challenger, Herschel Walker, a former NFL star. Now, Herschel Walker is a total disaster. He is one of the worst candidates I have ever seen in my life. Go and search him up after you finish watching this video. He is a total catastrophe. Absolute disaster. If he wins this seat, frankly, I will never visit Georgia ever again. I've been twice. If he wins this seat, I'm never going back because he's that bad. I mean, no way in hell should that guy be anywhere near the US Senate. And the polls, whilst Warnock has led for most of the time, they have tightened in recent weeks, as you'd expect. So don't be surprised if Herschel Walker ends up pulling it off. But note that this state requires candidates to win 50% of the votes in order to win. So because there's a third party challenger running in Georgia, this will almost certainly end up going to a runoff, which will happen in December or January. And it's hard to tell who will win, but again, I'm going to say Raphael Warnock will win that seat. Nevada is also a very interesting contest because you've got the incumbent Democratic Senator, Catherine Cortez Masto, fighting off against the former Attorney General of Nevada, Adam Laxalt. Now, Catherine Cortez Masto has had a very, very tough re-election fight, and this is for quite a few interesting reasons. Nevada, very, very heavily dependent on hospitality, tourism, very, very working class state, heavily unionized state, hit hard in the last couple of years. There's been a bit of a backlash in Nevada against these sort of restrictions that we saw in 2020 and 2021. Republicans, of course, nationally fighting on a message about the economy and inflation, so that has had some appeal in Nevada. Catherine Cortez Masto has been struggling in that regard. Adam Laxalt, who is the former Attorney General, is either tied or slightly ahead of her. A key voting bloc, of course, in Nevada, Latinos. And it's very important to issue a disclaimer, not all Latinos in the US are the same. They have different walks of life, they're not a monolith. But interestingly, Catherine Cortez Masto is a Latina herself, but Latinos generally have been beginning to drift towards Republicans. And if even a third or just over a third of Latinos in the state of Nevada end up going Republican, that could spell trouble for Cortez Masto. So that's an interesting one to watch. If she does pull it off though, then it's almost certain that Democrats will keep control of the US Senate. If she doesn't pull it off, it'll make things a bit harder for Democrats. Not impossible, but it'll require a bit more movement across the map. One place where they could get some movement, Arizona. The incumbent Democratic Senator is Mark Kelly, the former astronaut. He won his race 2 years ago to finish off John McCain's term. Now we have him fighting for a full term against his challenger Blake Masters, who is a venture capitalist. And I think Mark Kelly will win this seat. Arizona's, there's a lot of interesting, actually a lot of weird stuff happening in Arizona, but I think Mark Kelly will win this seat, and that should be a sign of some optimism for Democrats, actually, that they might be able to hold on to the Senate. I think overall for the Senate it's going to be 50-50 once again. I think Democrats are going to win Pennsylvania. they're going to win Georgia and they're going to win Arizona. Republicans are going to win Nevada. They're going to win Wisconsin, where Ron Johnson, the incumbent Republican, is fighting against his Democratic challenger Mandela Barnes, the lieutenant governor. I think Ron Johnson wins Wisconsin. And I also think the Republicans are going to win Ohio. Ohio, for some bizarre reason, people are still calling a swing state, even though it went for Trump both times, 2016 and 2020. It's a red state. J.D. Vance is the Republican running. He's going to win against his Democratic rival, Tim Ryan, a congressman from Ohio. I think J.D. Vance will win that. So Republicans win Wisconsin, Ohio, and Nevada, I think. Democrats carry Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona. That would mean a 50-50 Senate. Kamala Harris as the vice president will break the tie, so Democrats will maintain the majority. That is my prediction. The House, unfortunately for Democrats, I think is almost certainly gone. Republicans will pick up seats. Although I will say this, and I'm putting this on the record now, I'm not so sure Kevin McCarthy will end up being the Speaker if Republicans take the House. Just my opinion. I'm not saying Republicans won't take the House, I think they will. Not sure Kevin McCarthy will end up being Speaker. Interesting food for thought there. That is your brief whistle-stop tour of the US Senate map. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see what happens. Whatever happens though, we are going to be in for a period of divided government in the United States. All of this leading into the 2024 presidential election.